Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video will contain spoilers for the 1981 Ralph Bakshi movie, American Pop. This video may contain discussions and/or images of violence, sexual situations, and drug use. Viewing beyond this point is a choice you have made, and you take responsibility for that choice. Thank you, and please have a nice day.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone's doing well today, tonight, tomorrow, or whenever you're watching this. It could be yesterday for all I know. The subject of this video, or what I'm going to be talking about, is the 1981 Ralph Bakshi movie, American Pop. This movie is a wonderful movie. It's one of those movies that I have found that either people like it or they hate it. I have found very few people in my life that are kind of meh on it. It is a very, very adult movie. It has a runtime of about 96 minutes. The movie is rotoscoped animation, which means everything was filmed in live action, then animated over top of the live action footage. Bakshi did that in a lot of his movies. This movie follows 4 generations of immigrants. Yeah, I know that's a bad word this day, but in this day and age for certain people, but these people immigrated to America, fleeing persecution from Russia, and basically follows this family's breaking into show business all the way up through 1981, which the movie ends in the year that it was released. So basically this movie runs from about 1890 to 1981. So a little over 90 years, close to 90 years. And it goes through the progenitor, or the first member of the family to go into show business, Louis. Starts out working in a burlesque house. Then slowly makes it, starts making a little bit of money, helping his mom out. His father was killed in Russia while they were fleeing Russia. His mother gets killed in the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, which was a real thing. From there, he basically falls into the vaudeville type things. As he gets older, he does, he's a young kid at this point, and as he's doing things, he's doing like the high voice thing, and puberty strikes, and so does World War I. And basically ends his singing career. He gets hit in the throat by a piece of shrapnel, which ends his singing career. As he gets older, he falls in love with a young woman who happens to be the daughter of a mob boss. Marries into the mob. And Oh, I misread that. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Louis, he marries a stripper, Bella. I messed that up. Let's backtrack for a second. Yeah, Louis comes back from World War One. He marries a stripper named Bella. He gets involved with the mob. Bella rises, when they get married, he vows to make her, a singer, a popular singer. And with some of the mob help, she becomes modest successfully. She gets killed on a mob hit. They had a child before her death, Benny. Benny grows up, marries into the mob, volunteers, goes to World War II. Before he leaves, he has a son. He gets killed in World War II. His son his wife remarries. His son is kind of the outcast, the leftover child, because the stepdad wants his kids with the woman to be paramount over basically the leftover. So at one point, the son, Tony's his name, I forgot to mention that, basically steals a car and goes across country. He eventually winds up in California and gets involved with the psychedelic scene, drug scene, music scene. Gets addicted to heroin. Has a one-night stand with a girl who he later comes back to the area while traveling with his band and doing his drugs. Named Pete. He realizes that Pete is his son, takes Pete in. Pete is trying to do the right thing. Tony goes into dealing heroin and winds up dying as an overdose. Pete basically takes over the business and eventually parlays his way into superstardom that way. That's just an oversimplification of the plot of the movie. Like I said, it takes 4 generations, 90 years. You get all kinds of great music. You get a lot of the turn of the century music, all the way up through the Roaring 20s, the flapper type music, a lot of the World War II era music, into the early rock and roll, into the rock of the 60s, 70s, in the beginning of the 80s. You get they got some great songs. Examples of some of the songs that they got are Hell Is for Children, sung by Pat Benatar. Summertime by Big Brother and the Janis Joplin, Big Brother and the Holding Company. California Dreaming, of course, Mom and the Papas. Somebody to Love sung by Jefferson Airplane. I wanted to say Jefferson Starship, but that was later. Jefferson Airplane. Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. People Are Strange by The Doors. And this immense amount of great music. You also get Devil with the Blue Dress On, You get some music by Lou Reed, and it's all, you get some George Gershwin in there, which is kind of cool. But it's all, the music is appropriate to what's going on. When the Tony character, first time he experiences LSD, his one night stand, all of this. And it's just, and the visuals in this movie are just off the chart. You have the right amount of animation for a particular scene. A particular scene you will have, depending on what they're trying to convey. Some of the animation you have very, very minimalist, very just barely even any kind of like facial features, to some of the scenes where you've got very detailed facial features, very detailed backgrounds and stuff like that. And it's all relevant to the story. It's all, everything coming together. I saw this movie the first time as a young adult. About 91 or 92. I was a young adult. I saw it on, I think I saw it at a friend's house. No? I don't know. It may have been, I think me and a friend of mine had went up to the LSC at Sam Houston. She was going to college there at the time. And they had like a midnight showing of it or something. Because I don't remember seeing it out on like VHS or CD or anything till early 2000s, late 90s. It may have been played on HBO or Showtime, but I don't remember. My brain is kind of fuzzy on that. Where I remember seeing it on like a big screen, dark room. So it was probably up at the LSC when they did movie nights. It was like $5. You got a medium soda and a popcorn. Like I said, early 90s. And all you basically all you had to do is, the college student could have a +1. So, and the friend of mine, her and my wife were good friends, and we went up there and we had talked about it, and I had expressed that I'd been that I liked like Batch's Lord of the Rings, Fritz the Cat, Heavy Traffic, and stuff like that. She's like, "Well, have you seen American Pop?" I said, "No." And so I think that's how that went down. I think we watched it because the LSC, I don't know if they've remodeled it or 2 or 3 times since the early 90s, but it used to be, it had a downstairs and had like a bowling alley and a movie theater. And I think that's where we watched where I watched this movie for the very first time. And it was one of those ones where you sat there, and if you're a fan of music and you enjoy music, it's just one of those movies you just like let it wash over you. You watch it, and it just moves through you. It's a very moving movie. Like I said, the name is very fitting, American Pop. Because it can be pop music or pop culture, and like I said earlier, this movie is a tour de force in both of those subjects. And Batchy doesn't sugarcoat anything. The heroin use, the drug use, the mob doing mob things, none of that is sugarcoated. It's an intense there are some really intense scenes. There are some scenes that are very idealistic, very quasi-utopian, and there are scenes that are nightmare fuel, especially near the end of the movie when Pete is growing up, 70s, 70s leading into the 80s with the whole punk grunge, Andy Warhol scene, that the cocaine, the heroin, the hard drug. I mean, like I said, Bakshi doesn't sugarcoat any of that stuff. It's in your face. It's there. The mob stuff when the mob takes out Tony's mom. No, grandmother. Excuse me, the grandmother. Boom. That's not sugarcoated at all. It's you, and that's one of those things. Bakshi is telling this story, and it works. It's well done. The script is done well. What I love, and I don't know how much of this is true and how much of this is just Hollywood mythos. One of the last tracks in the movie is Bob Seger's Night Moves. And when you listen to it on the radio and stuff, it opens up with the guitar. The mythology, from what I understand, is Bob Seger basically said, if you use this piano opening, which is what I originally wrote the song for, but the record label wanted him to go with the guitar. If you use this, you can have the rights to the song for your movie for like minimum, whatever the minimum Hollywood minimum rate was for for using the song in the movie. But you have to use this piano opening. And like I said, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's mythology. I like to think it's true. It's probably not. It's just one of those things that it's almost too good to be true. It's too fanciful to be true. I don't know. I'd like to think it is. Anyhow, that's one of those things I don't want ruined. I don't. If it's not true, I don't want to know the truth type thing. It's willful ignorance, I should say. And that's kind of one of my vices sometimes. But yeah, so check this out. If you're a fan of good music, you're a fan of history, a fan of American pop culture of the first 81 years of the 20th century, check this movie out. Have fun, embrace it, enjoy it. However, like I said, this movie is not everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone's going to like it. Whether because some people don't dig animation. Some people that do dig animation may not dig rotoscoping. At least give it a try, though. If you don't like it, that's cool. It's a Bakshi movie, and Bakshi movies are not everyone's cup of tea. Like all of his movies, like this movie, either you love it or you hate it. It just. So yeah. Like I said, I would strongly recommend checking it out if you got the time and the effort. Like I said, it runs about 96 minutes. The production cost on it was $5 million, and I think it brought in $6 million. So it didn't do as well as some of his other movies, but it's still a good movie. It still made money for the studio. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. And everybody, be good humans. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?